Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. Hopefully, I get some of you guys back here. So, we're going to talk about house buying costs. Now, I did a video yesterday. This one won't be as in detail as that one, but we were going to go over some stuff. Now, the first thing we talked about was your credit score, okay? Was your credit score. Now, the good thing about this video today is you're going to get some of my old videos where I was saying about houses for a very, very long time. And we understand that a credit score is a number that helps lenders to evaluate a person's credit report and estimate their credit risk. That's what it's all about. You know, whether it be you're in grade school, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever grades you get, right? A, B, C, D, and F. This essentially is a grade score for your credit to leverage, to kind of give lenders an estimation of how they're going to decide to give you this loan or not. And if they do, at what interest rate because of your risk levels, okay? Most lenders, 90% of lenders go over your FICO score, your Fair Isaac Corporation score, organization that made up credit scores in the first place. And then some of them, about 10%, go off your Vantage score, Vantage 3.0 score, okay? So since we're talking about house buying, let's get right into it because I have a little bit of information to cover. Now, a person's credit score affects their ability to qualify for different types of credit and your varying interest rates, okay? Interest rates mean everything when you're asking somebody for their money. And that's what we need to understand. Some people believe that when you go out and you try to apply for credit that you should just get it because you applied. Don't forget, you're literally asking investors, you're asking lenders, you're asking people with money for their money, and they want a return on their money. But depending on your credit score, determines your interest rate. The higher your credit score, the lower interest rate. The lower your credit score, the higher the interest rate. And that is how it works. A person with a high credit score goes out and try to qualify for a 30-year fixed mortgage with roughly, let's go with 3.8%. That's kind of what I went with yesterday. Annual percentage rate, that's your APR, on a $300,000 loan. The monthly payment would be roughly $1,400. Roughly $1,400 with someone with a high credit score with the interest rate around 3.8% of a 30-year fix at the loan at $300,000. Looking to pay $1,400. Now, granted, that is just your house payment. That is just your mortgage. We haven't got it to home warranty, home insurance, utility, entertainment costs, food, children. Like we didn't get to that yet. We didn't get into that yet, okay? Because I want people to understand once you get into the home, all the associated costs. All the associated costs. And we understand that if your home is $300,000, whether it's in a good neighborhood, bad neighborhood, a lot of that has to do with what? How much that home is actually going to cost, right? Because a $300 home and you're trying to live in the Bill Gates neighborhood, that's a double wide trailer you're trying to move into, okay? Because it has to do a lot with your environment, it has to do a lot with your community, it has a lot to do with your state, okay? Because a state like Mississippi, if you buy a $200,000 home, you're going to be living in a good neighborhood. You're going to be living in a good neighborhood, okay? But a $300,000 home in San Francisco, you may be looking in a trailer park or something, all right? Because some of these places are very expensive. Now, a person with a low credit score, assuming that they qualify for the same $300,000 mortgage, they may pay 5.40, 5.39%. You paid 3.8. They're paying 5.5. They're paying 5.4 with a corresponding monthly payment of $1,683. So I'm paying $1,400. You're paying roughly $1,700 because your credit score is a lot lower and your interest rate is a lot higher. So the additional payment is around $285, almost $300 a month. But over the course of 30 years, you're paying over $100,000 for the same home. That's how important your credit score is in buying a home. You could be paying astronomically more. And I'm gonna go over this quite quickly because I went over this in my video yesterday, and I don't want to kill the nanny. I want to beat a dead horse on this one. So your credit score comprises of 5 sections, 5 parts. Okay. You have 35% is your payment history. 30% is the amount owed on the loans you have on your credit report. You have 15% the length of your credit history, 10% new credit and recently opened accounts, and then 10% types of credit in use. That's your 5: 35, 30, 15, 10, and 10. Payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit and newly opened accounts, and also types of credits in use. Okay, and types of credit in use be installment loans, revolving accounts, etc. Okay, so all that makes up your credit mix. Okay, and quite frankly, I went in detail about how many credit cards you should have and how credit cards can actually help your debt to income ratio if you don't use them. If you want to look at that video, please look at it. Unfortunately, the music is a lot loud. I apologize in advance. The music is quite loud in that video, okay? So now we breeze through the credit. Now, let's talk about how much a down payment is going to cost. Let's talk about how much a down payment is going to cost. Thank you, Scooter. I appreciate your donation. Thank you, Scooter. I do appreciate your donation. Good morning, Ashley Hawkins. And believe me, this is why these videos are important, fam. So we understand the amount of money that's going to cost to own that. And now yesterday I went into showing my home. I showed some pictures of my home. I broke it down. Because I think it's imperative. I might show some of those photos today. And believe me, fam, I am not bragging, okay? Because at the end of the day, I didn't, you know, when we say we bought a home, we really didn't. You get what I'm saying? The home is not yours until you have that deed. That car is not yours until you have that title. So essentially, I'm paying somebody else for the money that they lend to me, okay, borrow to me to buy the home. Okay. Now, we can get into the finance of assuming risk and volatility when it comes to house buying and why when you're buying a home, it's okay to use somebody else's money, but we won't get into that, okay? Well, we're going to get into most people want to pay private mortgage insurance because most people are not going to put down 20% of that home. See, when you don't put down 20% of your home, you're going to pay private mortgage insurance. But if you put 20% down or more, you wipe away that cost. And private mortgage insurance is a joke. It's a joke. The lender requires you, if you don't put 20% down or more, to pay private mortgage insurance. Okay, and private mortgage insurance can cost you anywhere between 0.5% and 1% of the entire loan. Now, if your loan is $300,000, what's 1% of that you have to pay extra? We have to think about these things. Now, a smaller down payment won't mean purchasing a home is impossible, because it's not. You can buy a home with as little as 3.5%, but that is with a FHA loan, okay? But there's bonuses to coming up with more money because you decrease your PMI, your private mortgage insurance, okay? Now let's take down some numbers. Let me look at my notes here. I wrote down some numbers early. Smallest mortgage payments for a $200,000 mortgage with a 4% fixed interest rate for a 30-year term, you will pay $955. I'm gonna say it again. I said it pretty fast. For a mortgage that's $200,000 with a 4% fixed rate on a 30-year term loan, you will pay $955. Excuse me, I'm a loss of words. Give me 1 second. 1 second. You will pay $955 a month for that mortgage. Now, if your mortgage were $180,000 with a 4% interest rate for a 30-year term, you would pay $859, almost $100 less at $20,000. Okay, so more choices among lenders. Some lenders won't offer a mortgage less than 5 to 10% down. So most lenders want you to put 5 to 10% down on those conventional loans. But since FHA is a federal loan, they allow you to put at least 3.5. They're probably the lowest in the game. They're the lowest in the game. You're looking to buy a home. So see if you can kind of fall under that first-time home buyers, that FHA, so you can put down 3.5. But don't forget that PMI is usually 0.5% or 1% of your total loan if it's $200,000, $300,000. Okay. So again, let's look into some of my old videos. That I think that probably will give you more information that I did now. This video right here is about 3 years old, but you can still find value in this. And I want you guys to actually see this. Let me blow this up for you guys, okay? Blow this up for you guys and let me share it. Let me see if I can get this on. Let me turn this up a little bit. Here we go. My money makes money. So you're making good money. You're doing all the things that we talked about, and you're on your way. You're successful. I love it. Okay. So now you're looking into buying a condo, buying a house, or you already bought a house. But let's back up a second here. For those who are looking to buy a house, so you think you are ready to buy a house. Okay. Okay. Let's have this discussion real quick. Hopefully this discussion will go over 10 minutes. So you think you're ready to buy a house. All right. So hopefully you heard of the 43% debt to income ratio rule that the Federal Housing Administration used, FHA. They use that to actually approve loans so you can buy a house. They have to use that rule to see if you can afford to pay the mortgage. So you like saying, okay, what is all that? Well, all your debt, your mortgage, your home insurance, your home association fee, HOA fees, I know you heard of that, and your property tax. They tally all that up and I say that should not equal or surpass 43% of your debt to income ratio, meaning how much you make, right? So after it's all said and done, you should have no more than 43% of your income used. Okay, so I'm gonna try to break this down so you further understand me. You wanna write this down, I'm gonna go a little slow. Take, for instance, your monthly income is $4,000. Okay, so write $4,000 down. Then I want you to multiply that $4,000 by 0.43. So after you do the multiplication for that, for all your debt, including your housing mortgage, should be $1,720. And let's factor this in. You're saying, well, I'm close to that mark already, but I don't have any debt. So basically you're saying I'm not going to buy a new car or anything like that, because if you buy a new car or if you're already close to that 43%, you're really not going to have any wiggle room and you're going to bust your threshold and you're going to end up not being able to afford that payment. You're going to pretty much put yourself out in the cold. And the cool thing about it is we're talking about debt, we're talking about your home, we're talking about insurance, HOA fees, because when they factor in this, they're talking about all your debt, things they can find on your credit report, these loans that you have, right, that it doesn't really account for that 43. So now, hopefully you got some information about that, because a lot of people don't know about that 43% rule. They really, really don't. They don't know about that 43% rule because it's not widely taught to a lot of people. And it's really, really important that you guys understand that 43% rule, because this is how they look. They look at how much you get paid. That's why they want to look at all your financials. Okay. So we're going to move on. And for instructional purposes only, okay, what I really want to do is show a video, okay? I want to show a video to you guys because I think it's important that we take this little break of this video right here to show you that a lot of people do things very, very emotionally. So I want to share this one with you as well. And hope you find some value in this. We may look at this entire video, okay? It just started, okay. So let me share this with you guys. So you believe that your emotions are not tied to your finances, that they can't make you unstable. Hey, Ross, where my money makes money, emotionally, financially unstable. What does that mean? That means that you make decisions with your money based on how you feel. Okay? I make it a point. I make it a goal. Okay? It's my dream every day to talk to somebody about money. Whether I know more than them or they know more than me. That way I can gain more knowledge and give it to you guys. Or we collab and we share different information. But this is what I found out. A lot of you, a lot, are emotionally, financially unstable. What is he talking about? Oh, unstable, right? That means that you make decisions based upon how you feel, right? Remember window shopping? You go past a window. Oh, that's a nice dress. It stops you in your tracks. Oh man, they got the new Nike on, the new Air Force Ones. Come on, man. These are your emotions. You're thinking about all the outfits you're going to put with that purse, those shoes, whatever the case may be. Or we either be like, you just conjure up in your mind right out of nowhere. You say, I need a new car. Well, your car is only 3 years old. Oh, I want something new and fresh. But you're in debt. You have school loans. You don't have a lot of in savings. You're investing nothing. Your job just started your 401k. You haven't even did your IRA. There's no money anywhere except for the money that's coming in every 2 weeks or monthly from your paycheck that you're not even using for your benefit, right? You're not investing it in saving, you're just spending it. But emotionally, financially unstable, right? Because all your decisions are based upon how you feel. Like you look at your bank account, you got $200 or $300. Your guy like, hey man, I'm going to the comedy show this weekend. Oh, how much the tickets? Oh man, it's $70. Shit, I got it, man. I don't got, I got 300, but I factor in $70. Okay, I need gas. That's $30. So I'm already at 100. Man, I got 200 left, man. But you don't have any money in savings, or you don't have enough money in savings. And what's enough? It's hard to buy a house. $10,000. I know people like to do the 3 to 6 months to a year of all your bills. I just go over $10,000, right? You guys did a great job last year on the $1,000 challenge. I applaud you. A lot of you did excellent. Hopefully that 1,000 is in a high yield savings account accumulating funds. Some off of it. But the point is this. Why is it that everything that your friends do, everything that your family does, everything that your job puts forth, you have to be a part of? Because you feel, see, here we go. You feel like you have to be a part of it for one reason or another. These are your emotions, these are your feelings, right? If you don't have it, then say, hey man, I don't have that type of money. Don't let pride get in front of your money, okay? Pride is way, way, way in the back of your money because pride and your emotions will end your butt up broke, because we never want to feel like we're cheap. We never want to feel like we're broke. But if you look at some of my older videos, as a matter of fact, check this video out right here about it's okay to tell people that you're broke. It's practically fine, guys. This message is quick. It's in a hurry. I just want you to believe this one thing. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 60. A lot of us like to dress nice and look nice and have nice things. But everything we do with our money could be tied to our emotions and or our pride. I'm here to tell you that none of that has anything to do with when you need the money. You don't have the money because at the time that you was feeling what you was feeling, you spent that money. Or you could have been saving that money, investing that money, and doing all sorts of things with your money so it can make you money. This is Ross World. My money makes money. I don't have a lot yet, though, what people may think. I don't. I really don't. So that was a video, guys, that I did quite some time ago as well to really put things into perspective, because a lot of times we know we want to buy houses, right? We know that we want to buy houses, but it's not our time. It's not our time to buy houses because we get emotionally about things. Like everybody around you may have a house, but your finances may not be set up for you to buy a house at that time, okay? For you to have a house at that time. So we need to really understand and put things into perspective. Now, we're gonna watch this one more video, then I'm gonna show you a couple of pictures, and I'm gonna break down the real cost of house buying. It's imperative, but I'm gonna show one of my throwback videos again. So I'm gonna put things in better context, okay? Again, my video from yesterday is more in detail, but unfortunately the music was too loud. So let's look at just a little bit of this last video that I'm gonna show for you guys, okay? Let's look at this one video. Let me blow it up for you guys. Make sure I put everything here, set things up. Don't play it, YouTube. Don't play it. Here we go. All right, just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. We're going to get into this discussion. Here we go. So right now, you're renting a house. How long have you been renting a house? 5 years? So what you're telling me is you guys don't have the money to buy a house, but you've been renting a house for 5 years. Okay. That's one of my old school throwback introductions. Hey, Crossroad, today I just want to get into something really quickly. Now, granted, some of you may think because you're renting a house that you can't afford a house because they get into your credit and your credit score is low. Now, we have to work on those credit scores, and one of the main ways to handle your credit score is to get rid of your debt, especially credit card debt, personal loan debt, and your car debt, okay? Now, housing, we'll get into this right now. Why would you go out and rent a house and you're probably saying, hey man, I have 3 or 4 kids and an apartment is too small? A lot of people from other countries, a lot of people from this country will argue that if you have 3 kids, they will fit fine in a 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom apartment. Yes, 4 bedroom apartments do exist. They're hard to find sometimes because most apartments don't go above 3. But they invent these things. Now, these things are new, called bunk beds. You can stack them up. And then there's all these little new things that they came out this year called space-saving cabinets and storage bins. These things have been out virtually for over 50 years, guys. And I'm tired of people renting houses and not buying houses. Buy back the block. If you have enough money to rent a house, chances are you have enough money to buy them. And if you don't have enough money to buy a house, get your butt out of that person's house and stop paying their mortgage and get your butt into an apartment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because some of you are saying, well, if I get an apartment for this size, I'm going to be paying the same amount every month. That's probably true. But let me tell you something. Most apartments, most, not all, the only thing you're paying extra is electricity and or water. Most apartments, and if this is new, you're probably in a condo and you don't know it. If you're paying HOA fees or condominium fees or apartment fees, which they usually don't ever have, you're paying for trash, water, electricity, gas, sewage, all of those extra bills that come with a house or a condo, they usually don't have those fees in an apartment. So if you're thinking that it's cheaper to live in a house that you're renting, you're absolutely false, guys. I will assure you, I'm almost going to promise you 99% of the time, if you're renting a house that's $2,000 and you move inside of an apartment that's $2,000, your fees will almost be cut in half when it comes to utilities and everything else. So let's stop right there and let's put this video into context, because what we need to understand is when we talk about cost of house and how much a cost really have, okay, it's because people are not breaking down the associated costs. When you are renting a home, because you're saying the size of your family, you're saying we have 5 people in our family. That's why I tell people, stay in an apartment and stack your cash. Stay in an apartment and stack your money and save your money. Okay, let's learn from other people. A family of 7 will live in a 3 or 4 bedroom apartment, and they got bunk beds, they got all sorts of things, how they really innovate that apartment. Because when we talk about the cause of house buying and everything, once we get the house, we're talking about mortgage. We're talking about mortgage insurance. Home insurance. We're talking about home warranties. We're talking about utilities. And let's break down utilities, okay? Because some of you, when you live in an apartment and you transfer, you move into a home, the first thing you're looking at is like this. You're like, well, in my apartment, my electric was 100. Now, if you're not an energy saver where you unplug things, but you keep things plugged up, that's always drawing electricity. If you take that same habit inside of a home, double that payment. Double that payment. Now, a lot of apartment buildings don't pay you for water. If you live in a house, you're paying for water. Now, granted, some apartments you do pay for water. It's included inside the bill and it's not separate, but some are separate. Some you don't pay for. Okay, some apartments, people get free internet or they get free cable or both. Those are costs that you have to pay. So you're going to be paying for electricity like me. I'll just use me as an example. Electricity, gas, trash, and recycle, okay? And recycle, that is accumulated in our trash price. They even pay you for sewage, okay? Property tax is huge when you have a home. You don't pay property tax when you have an apartment. You don't pay property tax when you have an apartment. Do you understand? And you also pay for water. That is the things that is keeping your house running. Look at all the bills I just broke down, and you still have to pay that mortgage at $1,500, $1,600, $2,000, $2,500 a month. And then you have all those utilities. We didn't even talk about your food yet. How much is your food cost with your family? Is it $200, $300, $400, $500? These are the things that we need to factor in. Then we need to talk about associated costs when you're trying to upgrade things in your home. What about your appliances? Does your home come with a stove, a refrigerator, a washer and dryer? My home did not come with a washer and dryer. It wasn't part of it because some homes throw specials. And then what if you want to upgrade your kitchen, your cabinets, your bathroom? So I'm going to show you a picture of my home right here where we upgraded our laundry room to bring value to your laundry room. And some people are not thinking it's not going to bring a lot of value to your laundry room. But what I've learned through over the course of time of owning homes is when you slowly upgrade room by room by room, it makes it more attractive. It makes it more attractive. And you do your cost-based analysis. You're like, well, it took me $2,000 to build this. It took me $1,500 to build this. And you keep those numbers. You keep those numbers when you're doing these upgrades throughout your room, because treat every property like it's an asset unless you absolutely know, and nobody really knows this unless they get them to their 60s and 70s, that I'm not moving no more. When you're not moving no more, do any and everything you want to do to that home. But a lot of people, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, they don't know how long they're going to stay in their home. So treat every home like an investment, meaning when you do upgrades, do things that you love and that majority of other people will love too. Here's a great example. Here's a great example of doing an upgrade, okay? Doing an upgrade that most people will love, especially people will love. I'm not gonna make this sexist. So my lady, she saw this picture on Pinterest and she wanted this. I said, okay, looks good to me. She showed me the design, but I picked out the colors. Now the wash and dryer didn't come with this. Now, I want you to picture this wall that you see with the cabinets with absolutely nothing on it. Absolutely nothing on it, but a white shelf. We had the contractor put this cut that white shelf, put it on the opposite side of the wall so we can still put additional items on it. And he threw up the towel, the grout, the cabinets, the shelves, the piping, all of that, the butcher block, all of that to make it more inviting. And the key thing about this is it's functional. You want to make it functional because now instead of taking clothes, throwing them in your bedroom, you can put clothes over in a pile on this side And then on this side in front of you, you can start folding clothes. You can start folding clothes and put them in the hampers and put them in people's room, however you want. And you can, in all the cabinets, it got your toilet paper, your paper towels, your detergents and all those things. So it's very, very functional. So it's imperative that when you do upgrades, you bring value to your home. You bring value to your home because, again, homes are expensive, okay? Now, for men are known to love the garage, to do things out of the garage, and slowly but surely, I'm upgrading my garage the way I had my old garages, okay? Now, another fee that I failed to get at is HOA fees. HOAs are a fickle animal because they're good and they're bad because you're essentially paying someone, you're paying the organization. Granted, when a new development builds a new neighborhood, they pick a management company or even the developers make a board where they control the HOA until a certain amount of the homes in that neighborhood are sold, and then they relinquish that authority over to people in the neighborhood, and they make a HOA board, and you have HOA meetings. Now, right now, they're not having that because of COVID-19. Now, my old HOA was really, really good, but not this HOA, okay? And I hope they hear me. My old HOA used to come and pull weeds over 1 foot in your yard. They used to cut your front lawn, not your back, your front and your side lawn. And I think they did something else. I forgot the other thing. Oh, and I think they trim your bushes. They used to come over like 40 people throughout the neighborhood, but that was part of your HOA. We had pools and we had all that good stuff in the neighborhood as well. But back on the garage thing for men, I'm showing you things because once you get past how much a house costs, then how are you going to make that house attractive? And I'm going to break down this garage very simply because I have a couple of more pictures to show you. But let me just break this down to you. First and foremost, with this garage, we had it painted and then we epoxied the floor. Okay, that's not the original garage. Hell no, because you've been in people's garage. It's usually the regular gray, dull, cement look, okay? But I went with blue with the flat paint on the walls, which absolutely looks good. But let me tell you, go with semi-gloss, because every time you rub against these walls, look at the bottom right here, okay? You always got marks. But nonetheless, I'm going to build a workshop in this corner. If you can see my cursor, I'm going to build a workshop when I have a butcher board, and I'm going to have cabinets. I'm going to have a shop light. But nonetheless, here's a storage right here. And then we have mounts on the wall to store our electric scooters as well as our bikes. But this is how you make things very attractive. So when people come in, they're like, wow, we don't have to do anything. This is great. We have, because listen, I go through up and down my neighborhood and people garages are their storage facilities. Okay, we park our cars in our garage because all types of weather, hail here hitting your car, and you don't have to worry about people breaking in. They're gonna break in and have to break in my house, and that's a whole nother story. They're gonna have to deal with some gunfire. That's all I'm gonna say. But if it's out there, you can't hear it, even though I have security cameras. But store your cars in your garage. If you got all this stuff in your garage and you can't store it, sell it. You don't need it. That's why it's in the garage. So you see all that stuff up there, okay? Let me move right along because I'm showing you how much a house really costs and all the associated costs of those things and how those things play into a role of how you're going to upgrade that home once you have that home. Now, granted, HOA fee, I pay, was it $300 every quarter, which is absolutely ridiculous because they don't do nothing. They have promised a swimming pool, but I'm trying to give you these costs because it's imperative for you to watch out for these things once you get a house. Now, let me show you what I had upgraded here. Now, if you saw one of my first videos when I was showing my home when I first moved in, this is an upgrade. You see this landscaping right here, this hardscaping they call it, where you got the decorative brick around your bush bed. Now, these bushes, they had mulch on here. I don't like mulch because you have to keep replacing mulch, and mulch is expensive. You don't have to replace rocks. So when I put the rocks down, they told me, they said, oh, those rocks are not allowed. Now, granted, literally the neighbor directly across the street have rocks, and he's been here 4 or 5 years. The neighbor 2 doors down have rocks. I like, they're like, you're gonna have to remove those rocks and you have to put in a request because, sir, you did these upgrades without putting a form. I said, well, when I moved into this neighborhood, I never got an HOA packet. I don't know the rules or anything. Oh, when you sign your paperwork, when you were buying your home, they should have gave you that. Well, they didn't. So I looked at everybody else and I did what everybody else did, meaning that I can do that. So they sent this paper like, hey, you have to remove those rocks. I said, no, those rocks are $300 to put down. I'm not getting those rocks up. So I turned in the paperwork and they approved everything because they couldn't argue when you have people doing the same thing in the neighborhood. Okay. So that's another picture of that. Let me see if I have another picture so you can get a, excuse me, a better reference. Because that's absolutely crazy. Okay. Let me show you this one. Well, there's one picture right here that's in front of the home. And as you can tell, I have the borders across the bush bed and also around the tree. So let's talk about this too, because this is another thing that you need to understand when buying a home. We talked about electricity, gas, water, trash. We talked about all these things, right? Upgrades, HOA fees, but HOA fees lead into other fees. See, when you're not in an HOA, you can cut your darn grass whenever you want to. No. In HOA, most HOAs, you have to cut your grass every week or every 2 weeks. Then how much does it cost to cut your grass? Now, if you're going to cut your grass yourself, you need a lawnmower. Well, if it's a gas, then you have to do electric. If it's a gas, you have to pay for gasoline. You have to do maintenance on it. You have to put oil. And if it's electric, then you have to plug it up. See what I'm saying? No one breaks this stuff down to homeowners before you go. Because if you're moving outside of an apartment, the cost is a lot more. So you have to think about these things going in. You used to leave your lights on. You're like, I don't care. Leave your lights on in the house and see what happens. Watch that bill go up double. So let's talk about the lawn. You have to keep your lawn looking relatively nice. So you got ants, you got grubs, you got scorpions, spiders. You got to spray that down with a solution so it don't kill your grass, right? Then you have weeds. Then you have to put some sort of weed solution and products on that. So all of these things cost money. Then you actually need applicators to put the fertilizers down inside of this. You see what I'm saying? No one really thinks about this. You just are so happy. I bought a house. Man, I'm a homeowner. But let me tell you, already I have not been in this home more than 3 months. You see that door? We had to get the door painted because the previous owner let the sun beat the hell out the door. Okay, we had the sun painted and we had the shutters right here painted. That's $300. Now, granted, I could have did it myself, but I didn't have a lot of my stuff here to actually do it. Okay, so you want your home to look nice, but there's a cost of your home looking nice. Okay, and I'm gonna show you another set of pictures here so I can show you. Let me see here. Where's those other pictures at? Give me 1 second, because I'm going to show you the garage of my last home, just to put it in context that all of these things cost money to bring value, and that home sold fairly quickly because people look, oh man, I don't even have to do nothing with this because things are already being done. And it's important that you do upgrades to your home because unless you say this is my forever home, then you don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the value of your home. And you can do that by doing some silly things with your home. Okay. You can actually make your home look cheap. This saves your money and do smart decisions when it comes to upgrades in your home. Now, a lot of this, I'm telling you, has to deal with home buying and understanding the cost. Now, let me walk you through this really quickly. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. This is my old garage. So I do some of the same things because I understand, okay? Here's my old garage. If you look at the floor, it's epoxy, got things hanging up. And then if I switch the picture here, okay, I have this little store. Now, this is a much smaller garage than I'm one in now, but we still stored 2 cars in here. But I have everything, the bikes are up here now. Any space I could actually think of, you want those things organized because when somebody comes in, somebody comes in, they want to, you want to invite them in so they can buy your home. Okay. Oh, that's nice. And these are very neutral colors. Okay. And this floor is also epoxy. So I didn't want to beat you guys in the head about the associated costs in buying a home, but it's important that you know this information. Let's see you in the chat room. Let's do some shout outs. I want to thank Scooter for giving me that donation. Believe me, I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ashley Hawkins, thank you for joining me today. She said, what about for self-employed? In what context and what reference? Please break that down for me so I can answer that question adequately. Mitchell Liggins, good morning, good sir. Thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. And Ashley Hawkins said, how's Alaska? It's probably getting colder. Look, Alaska never gets warm. It's always getting colder, right? It may warm up, but I always think of Alaska getting colder. I'm kidding. Scooter says, I need to pay off $14,000 in debt and double my income before I think about buying a house. I can understand that, Scooter. Now, granted, if you look in my description below this video, you can head over to rossworldfinancial.com. That is rossworldfinancial.com. And I can actually help you deal with your finances, okay? I can actually help you deal with your finances because I am a financial coach and that's what I love to do, okay? It does cost, but it's at a very, very nominal fee. I promise you. I'm one of the most frugalist persons in the world, okay? Let's move right along. Mitchell Liggins says, great video, brother. I saved money by going bald. I save a lot of money buying razors compared to the barbershop. Funny but true. Every little bit counts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every little bit does count. I also cut my own hair. I don't shave it. I actually use Andes. Okay, I use Andes to cut my hair. And again, I also shave myself during this whole COVID-19. And I don't go to the barbershop either. Okay, I think the last time I've been in a barbershop was about 2 or 3 months ago because I wanted kind of them to make the outline for me. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna do one more video today, and we're gonna talk about, I wrote some notes down. We're gonna talk about, because we're gonna talk about the police. Hopefully I don't get nobody mad, but you know me, I don't care. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I'm out.